This is DeFi E250, also known as DeFi, and welcome to part 2 of my Fusion Cup reflection. Part 1 was called Sometimes You Win. This is Sometimes You Lose. It's not always as fun to talk about your losses as it is your wins, but it is so much more important because you can learn a lot more from your losses than your wins. So here we go. The first battler I'm going to talk about today is Camel. Now Camel ended up taking the entire tournament, and you're going to really see why in these matchups. Camel mopped the floor with me in this first match. I led Poliwrath and I decided to go for an Ice Punch and let him launch a Sky Attack before I bail. I use a shield to kind of help me bail out, and I bail into my own Noctowl. And I launch off a Sky Attack, which he shields, and I let the Sky Attack come through. Now, this is where I run into some big problems. He's going to bring in this Frostlass. I shield, which I should have really just let my Noctowl go, but I decided I didn't want to give up all that energy, and I go for the Nightshade to get that last shield. But then Frostlass is just able to fade me down, and a Frostlass with built up energy is a problem. I'm able to get to one Mud Bomb here, but it's not going to be enough to take Frostlass out. Frostlass is going to be able to get to an Avalanche and knock out Whiscash. Now, all I have left is that Poliwrath from the beginning of the match. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could fade it down with my fast attacks. I couldn't. I end up wasting some energy to use that Ice Punch. I wish I had held on to it. But even if I had held on to it, it just wouldn't have mattered. Because here, he's able to get to one more Sky Attack. And he had a third entire Pokemon in the back. I didn't even get to see what his third Pokemon was. So, just decimated in this round. So I try for round 2. I lead Noctowl into Shiftry. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Shiftry is able to get to a foul play. And I decide to just let that go through because I know it's not going to take me out. And then I launch a Sky Attack against Noctowl. I look and I see I can bail into Frostlass, and I decide to shield just in case it's a Nightshade. It wasn't, but that's okay because a Nightshade would have really hurt. And then I start using that Frostlass of my own. And I know Frostlass can really hurt this Shiftry, but I have to shield a foul play. Dark being super effective against Ghost. I'm able to take out one of his shields. I try to get the shield bait for Shadow Ball. I get it. And then I switch into Whiscash, and I let Whiscash take the Shadow Ball instead of Frostlass. And I'm able to get to a Mud Bomb. Whiscash can do pretty well against Frostlass in a lot of situations. But here, with no shields, Frostlass was able to take out Whiscash, unfortunately. Now all I've got is Noctowl and my own Frostlass, and unfortunately, Camel had enough energy to get to another Shadow Ball. Here's where we come up to our photo finish. I launch this Sky Attack. It's enough to take out Frostlass, and he brings in Shiftry, and it's a race to the charge move, and it is a race that I lose. I'm the one fast move, maybe, but I lost that round. So I try to come away with a win in round 3, Noctowl versus Noctowl. And I let him attack first. So he's used his energy, and I'm going to go into Frostlass and go for Avalanche. Able to score that excellent. He's got to use a shield. And then I shield just in case it's a Nightshade, and it is. Nightshade would have really hurt, but now I've got some built up energy. I go for Avalanche, trying to get a shield. I don't get it, but that still takes a good chunk out of Frostlass. And here you can see Camel played it right, I played it wrong. He went for the Shadow Ball, and he was able to knock out my Frostlass because I didn't use a shield. I should have went for the Shadow Ball instead. Going for the Mud Bomb here to take out Frostlass, and it just barely doesn't take it out, but one little fast move does. And then I bring in Noctowl to take out Shiftry. However, he uses his last shield, but I can get to one more Sky Attack, but I have to burn a shield in order to use it. Man, was it worth using that shield though, because knocking out this shift tree when it was basically at full health was definitely satisfying. Now all I've got left to contend with is his Noctowl. And even though my Noctowl goes down, I still have Whiscash, and I've just about built up to a Blizzard. I was just barely able to freeze that bird, and I at least walk away with 1 win out of this round. So at this point in the tournament, I have 3 wins, 1 loss. I'm feeling pretty good about it, but then I'm matched up against Climber Dan, and this is just gonna hurt, this first match of this round. Climber Dan's also known as 82 Maverick 82, and our matches are always really intense, really good. He leads Torterra, and I have to completely bail out of there, so I lead into Noctowl, and this Probopass is just gonna ruin my day. I go for Nightshade, maybe Sky Attack would have been better, so I try Sky Attack, see if that's any better. It's not, and this Probopass just kind of ruins my day. I figure, you know, I can just let this come through. Whatever Probopass is rocking, it's not going to hurt me. But I could have let that Rock Slide come through. Unfortunately, I hit the Mud Bomb way too early. I should have just waited. And then this Torterra just eats my Whiscash. And now I'm left with another Water type against a Razor Leafer. I'm able to get to an Ice Punch, but it's not going to do anything because he's got shields. I'm just done. I need to take a moment away from my commentary to say that after that match, I had to sit back down. I was already sitting down. I had to stand up so I could sit down again. Because that match just... wow. I got beat bad. But then, I think, and I recollect, and I lead Venusaur against Probopass. I get some Frenzy Plants off, starting to feel good, starting to rebuild some confidence, and then I went into Whiscash. Now, I know better now to not shield things, like Rock Slide, and I just fade down Probopass, let that get down, and now he's got an Altaria. And boom! Dead, frozen bird. And that really, I think, is where I won the match. Because all that's left for me to do is launch a frenzy of Mud Bombs off against his Steely, Icy Pangolin Pokemon, and I have a bunch of shields to be able to deal with whatever he has to throw at me. And just, I decimate him in the same way he decimated me in round 1. Feeling good. So now he's got 1, I've got 1, comes down to round 3. I lead Bronzong into Probopass. Now, I know I've got Bulldoze in my back pocket, so that's feeling pretty good. I decide to shield the Rock Slide so I can keep Probopass healthy, and then I go for the Bulldoze because I know that that's going to put a hurting on Probopass and kind of get it out of my way. I'm able to fade it down, and then I bail into Whiscash. However, he's got that Torterra to ruin my day. But I figure I'd go for Blizzard, I'll at least get a shield, right? Boom! Torterra goes down. But now I don't really have a whole lot to deal with this Altaria. So I kind of have a problem now. Which is unfortunate. I go for a Psyshock, that gets blocked. I'm able to hit another Psyshock, thankfully. But that gets blocked again. So, no shields, but all I've got left is a Grass type against a Flyer. So, Sky Attack's gonna hurt, and I'm just desperately trying to get to something, and I just cannot get there. And that is GG's to Dan. So at this point now, I'm 3 wins, 2 losses. Not great. And then I draw the Turkey Man, the Fightin' Gobbler, and I'm feeling even worse about being able to pull off a positive win rate in this tournament. So, as we start off the match, I take a look. He's got Empoleon, which is a really good pick for this. He's got a Alolan Marowak, which is another really good pick, and I'm pretty nervous. I won the lead, Noctowl versus Venusaur, so he flipped into Altaria. And I didn't really bring anything this time that's going to be really useful for me against Altaria, so I stay in. I use a shield to keep my Noctowl healthy, and I go for another Sky Attack. I build up some additional energy because I have the time. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I can get to that other Sky Attack without wasting that shield. But alas, I am just not quite able to get there. So the only thing I really have that's going to be useful to me is this Mud Boy of mine. And here's where I make a pretty important mistake. I should have just gone for the Blizzard instead of trying to bait a shield with Mud Bomb. Blizzard would have been much more useful to me here. Because now I have to waste another shield on a Sky Attack where I could have just gotten Altaria off the field. So now he's up a shield, and he's got this Venusaur against my Venusaur, and my Venusaur doesn't have the right move on it. I've got a Razor Leaf, and he's got a Vine Whip, so he wins this matchup. I think I just had it, this Venusaur still on Razor Leaf from something else. I think Vine Whip would have definitely been the way to go. So this time I have Noctowl, he leads Empoleon, which is something I'm kind of nervous about. I had been nervous about because I don't have a ton on my team that's going to be able to deal with Empoleon. So I let this Hydro Cannon come through, and then I flip into Whiscash. And now I'm stuck. I'm kind of hoping I'll get a shield. I do. At least get the shield. And I decide I'm just going to let Whiscash go down and bring in Noctowl with Sky Attack. Knock out this Venusaur so I can at least stay up on my shield. And I decided to go for this Nightshade. And then all I have left here is Frostlass and 2 shields. It's not a great situation for me because I have to burn both shields right away. I try to farm down, get a little bit of energy built up before I go for the Avalanche because I don't want him to get to another Hydro Cannon. And then I try to go for Avalanches. However, he does have that shield, which is a big problem for me because he's going to be able to get to a Sky Attack before I can get to another Avalanche. I just didn't get enough energy built up. So, I've already lost, but we go up for round 3. I lead Poliwrath into Whiscash. I let the Mud Bomb come through. And I go for a Dynamic Punch. Built up a little bit of extra energy there. I shield this time. And go for it again. I get a shield. I think maybe I can just get it off the field with an Ice Punch, but he blocks it, so now all the shields are down. And I'm able to get to one last Ice Punch. I nail the Excellent with just 1 HP left, so now all I gotta do is just a couple fast moves, but that Whiscash hangs on with just 1 HP and is able to take a good chunk out of Frostlass before it goes. I switch into Bronzong because all I need to do is build up to Bulldoze to get rid of this thing. However, he brings in Venusaur, but I have Psyshock. So that's at least going to take out Venusaur, but now I don't have Bulldoze anymore to deal with Empoleon. And then all I have left is my Frostlass, and Hydro Cannon takes it out. And that's GG's. That's the tournament. 3 wins, 3 losses. Congratulations to Camel for winning the tournament. He actually swept it and got all 6 wins, which is absolutely awesome. I'm looking forward to more battles with him in the future. And just like I said at the top, it's maybe not as fun sometimes to talk about your losses, but you can definitely learn a lot from them. I hope that you watching learned a little bit from my losses as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching, and best wishes!